Welcome to Zero to Hero, where you'll transform from a struggling survivor to a match-winning legend. Master every perk, outsmart every killer, and learn the best tips and strategies to keep your team alive and win more games. Whether you're just starting out or aiming to up your game, I've got you covered. It's time to escape in style and go from zero to hero.
Oh, hi.
Hi?
What's that? You're a brand new Dead by Daylight player looking to learn the game from the ground up?
Yeah, how did you know that?
And you're looking for a super sweet, amazing, awesome Dead by Daylight beginner's guide?
Okay, this is getting weird. How do you know all this? Who are you?
Well, what a coincidence. I happen to have one right here on this video. You've come to the right place. Imagine that.
Okay.
This guide will teach you the absolute basics, from what Dead by Daylight is to the goals of the game for both survivor and killer, as well as the basic mechanics of the game.
Wow, that's incredible. This is exactly what I needed.
It's got everything you need, and by the time you're done watching this guide, you'll be able to hop onto the fog and start enjoying Dead by Daylight yourself. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get right into it.
Let's go!
So, what is Dead by Daylight? At its core, DBD is an asymmetric multiplayer game, meaning that one player takes on the role of the killer, while 4 others play as survivors. The survivor's goal? Escape the map before the killer can hunt them down. And the killer's goal? Stop them at all costs. As a survivor, you'll need to work together with your team to power up 5 generators scattered across the map. Once the generators are powered, the exit gates can be opened, and then the survivors can make their escape. Sounds easy, right? Well, there's a catch. There's gonna be a killer on the loose that'll do everything in his or her power to stop you. So you better be careful. Let's start with the survivors. In Dead by Daylight, survivors are always played in third person, giving you a wider view of your surroundings. Your main objectives are simple: repair generators, avoid the killer, and help your teammates escape. You can run, crouch, vault over obstacles, and use pallets to slow down the killer during a chase. But remember, the killer is always faster than you, so it's important to stay hidden and only run and be chased when necessary. Teamwork is essential. You'll need to heal each other, unhook captured teammates, and split up to get generators done. But communication can be tricky, because you're not gonna always have a full man and have 3 friends play with you, right? Most of the time, it's probably gonna be with randoms, and there's no voice comms in this game. So be careful. Now, let's talk about the killer. The killer is played in first person, giving you a more focused but narrow field of view. Your job as the killer is to hunt down the survivors and sacrifice them on the entity's hooks before they can escape. Alternatively though, you can murder them. In Dead by Daylight it's called Mori. It's actually really cool. Each individual killer has their own unique Mori, and it's just so fun to do. I definitely recommend you guys try that out. Each killer has a unique ability or power that helps them in the hunt. For example, the Trapper can set bear traps to catch survivors, while the Wraith can turn invisible to sneak up on unsuspecting players. Understanding your killer's power is key to hunting efficiently. As the killer, you need to patrol the map, listen for audio cues, and predict where survivors might be hiding or working. Once you find a survivor, well, you know what time it is. It's time for the chase. So, how do survivors win? The main objective is to power up 5 generators. Generators can be repaired alone or with teammates. Working together will speed up the process though. However, be careful. Failing a generator skill check will alert the killer to your location. So we spoke a little bit about skill checks. Let's get into what they actually are. In Dead by Daylight, skill checks are quick time events that players must respond to during certain interactions. These checks test your timing and reflexes, requiring you to press a button at the right moment to succeed. This button is usually spacebar on PC, L1 on PlayStation, and LB on Xbox. Skill checks can appear during a few key activities, and how well you perform them can affect the outcome of the interaction. Here's a breakdown. A skill check is represented by a small circular gauge with a moving pointer. The pointer moves around the gauge, and your goal is to hit the correct part of the circle when the pointer enters it. There are two key areas: the success zone, which is where you get a normal skill check, and the great success zone, which is where you get a great skill check. Hitting a normal skill check allows the action you are doing to continue with positive or neutral results. Hitting a great skill check, which is a smaller part of the success zone, will reward you with a more favorable outcome, such as faster healing and generator progress. However, if you fail the skill check by pressing the button too early or too late, it can result in negative effects, such as regression or triggering noise alerts for the killer. So, when do you get skill checks? Repairing generators. While survivors are working on generators, skill checks can randomly appear. Failing a generator skill check causes the generator to lose progress and emit a loud noise, alerting the killer to your location. Healing. When healing yourself or others, skill checks may appear. Failing a healing skill check slows down the healing process and also notifies the killer of your position. Second hook phase. Skill checks will appear when you are on second hook phase. Failing these will result in you losing extra progress on your life bar. Factors that influence skill checks. Perks. Some perks like Technician or Stakeout can modify skill checks, making them less punishing when failed or increase the chance for great skill checks. Killer abilities. Certain killers, like the Doctor, can manipulate skill checks, causing hallucinations or making them harder to complete. Toolbox and medkit add-ons. These can increase or decrease the chance of getting skill checks during repairs and healing. Remember guys, skill checks are an essential part of maintaining stealth and efficiency during survivor gameplay. Mastering them is key to surviving and outwitting the killers in Dead by Daylight. Once the generators are done, the exit gates will power up. Open one of these gates and you're home free. But hurry, because once the gates are opened, a sequence called the endgame collapse will begin. The endgame collapse in Dead by Daylight is a time-limited phase that starts when certain conditions are met, putting both survivors and killers under intense pressure. It introduces a countdown mechanic that dramatically changes the flow of the game and adds urgency to the final moments of a match. The endgame collapse lasts 2 minutes and can be slowed down to 4 if survivors are on hook or in the dying state. The two conditions that start the endgame collapse are when survivors open the exit gates, as mentioned before, and when the killer closes the hatch. So, what is the hatch? The hatch is another means of escape that becomes available for the last survivor. When your team has either escaped or died, the hatch will spawn and you will have to find it. But just remember, the killer will also most likely be looking for this hatch. Get to it before the killer does, and you're out. Don't worry though, if the killer gets to the hatch first and closes it, the exit gates will power up regardless if all 5 generators have been done, so there's still hope for escape. For killers, the goal is to disrupt the survivors' plans. Your main method of attack is to chase down and injure them. Once injured, you can knock them down to the ground and then carry them to a hook. The entity will do the rest. Oh, and remember, as we learned before, we can also Mori them. Ha! Mooring. So fun! Damn! Should at least Mori one survivor a match. I mean, are you really living? If you don't Mori someone, I mean, you know? Hooking survivors 3 times will sacrifice them to the entity, making it one less person you need to worry about. Survivors can fight back though, by sabotaging hooks, healing each other, and distracting you, aka looping. So, stay sharp. Both killers and survivors have access to perks, which are special abilities that can change the way the game is played. Each character has their very own unique perks, but as you level up, you can unlock and equip those perks for other characters too. Survivor items and add-ons are tools that survivors use to aid in escaping from the killer or completing objectives. Survivor items are usable objects that survivors can bring into a trial. These include things like medkits, toolboxes, flashlights, keys, and maps. Add-ons are upgrades or modifications that can be attached to survivor items to enhance their effectiveness. For example, an add-on for a medkit might increase healing speed, or an add-on for a flashlight could extend the beam's range or duration. These are consumed after each match, while the base item can be kept if you survive the trial. Offerings are special, one-time use items that both survivors and killers can bring into a match. Offerings can affect things like map selection, blood points, luck, hooks and hatch locations, and even the mist. Yes, the mist. You can make things spookier, or you can make things less spookier. It's really, what am I even saying? Anyway, once used, offerings are consumed at the start of the match, and they can add a strategic layer to how the trial unfolds. Killer power add-ons are special modifiers that enhance or alter a killer's unique power. Each killer has their very own signature ability, called a power, and add-ons can modify the way that ability functions, making it stronger or more versatile during a trial. For example, Trapper's bear traps can have add-ons that make them harder to escape or quicker to set up. Raid's cloaking ability can be modified to make him faster while invisible, or reduce the time it takes to uncloak. These add-ons can increase a killer's effectiveness or introduce new tactics, but like Survivor add-ons, they are consumed after each match. Effective loadouts can help you heal faster, find your teammates, or even run more effectively during chases. As you play more, you'll learn how to build the best loadout for your playstyle, so keep on trying different things, mix and match, and see what works best for you. Alrighty guys, that was a lot of information to take in. But we did it! We're almost at the end of the guide, but before we get there, I just want to give you guys one more thing. Some quick tips for beginners. So here they are. Stay calm. Running too much will leave scratch marks that the killer can use to track you. Only sprint when necessary. Work together, heal and unhook teammates whenever possible. Dead by Daylight is a team game for survivors. Learn the maps. Each map has unique features, from loops to vaults and pallets. Knowing the layout will help you escape or plan your hunt. Don't get discouraged. Whether you're a survivor or a killer, you'll lose some matches, especially when you're starting out. Focus on improving and learning the mechanics. And that's the basics of Dead by Daylight. Whether you prefer the thrill of escaping or the rush of the hunt, this game is something for everyone. Thanks for watching, and if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more guides like this. Stay tuned for my next guide on everyone's favorite closet dweller, Dwight Fairfield. I'll be covering his perks, how to use them, and much more. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.